Hello, everyone, and welcome to Football Roundup. Today, we want to talk about one of the most controversial subjects in football, the abolishing of the offside rule. So just take, sit, and enjoy. All of us have experienced playing football without worrying about the offside rule, in schoolyards, parks, or with friends. But at the professional level, removing offside would not just be a small tweak, it would completely transform the game into something almost unrecognizable. The offside rule is one of the oldest in football, but it has evolved dramatically. Under the original offside rule codified by the Football Association in 1863, a player was considered offside if they were ahead of the ball at the moment, unless three players from the opposing team, includes goalkeeper, are in front of him. This made forward passing virtually impossible or so hard. Teams had to rely on dribbling or lateral/backward passes, which gave the game a very different, almost rugby-like feel. The offside rule was changed in 1925. A player was considered offside unless two players of the opposing team are in front of him, includes goalkeeper. And at last, the offside rule was changed again in 1990. A player is onside if he is level with the second-to-last player of the opposing team, includes goalkeeper. And we are waiting for the latest update of offside rule that a player would only be offside if there is a clear, measurable gap between the attacker and the defender. In other words, if any part of the attacker's body is level with any part of the defender's body, the attacker is onside. But consider more facility for attacker, or better said, no offside. Then what will happen? The most obvious change would be the return of the goal hanger. Attackers permanently camped inside the penalty box, loitering next to the goalkeeper, waiting for a hopeful long ball from their defenders. The game could quickly devolve into a battle of punts and poaching. To counter goal hangers, defenses would be forced to retreat as deep as possible, often parking their entire team around the 18-yard box. This would stretch the pitch unnaturally, leaving massive gaps in midfield. Also, it caused death of the high press because pressing high would become suicide. Lose the ball while pressing, and the opponent could instantly launch a long ball to their permanent striker. Suddenly one-on-one with the goalkeeper and acres of space ahead. And absolutely it caused end of the offside trap, one of football's cleverest defensive weapons. Stepping up to catch attackers offside would disappear entirely. Without the offside rule, the very DNA of a footballer would change. We wouldn't just see players adapt, we would see entirely new specialist positions emerge. At the front, the target man becomes king. Tall, physical strikers who dominate in the air would be priceless, thriving as permanent predators inside the box. In midfield, creative playmakers who weave intricate passes like Kevin De Bruyne or Toni Kroos would lose influence as the game bypasses them with endless long balls. But the biggest change would belong to defenders. They would need extreme pace and strength above all else to deal with constant long balls and physical battles. And yes, maybe in this case, defenders could even make football more beautiful. But not everything is negative. Yes, we would see more goals, and maybe it would get rid of 0-0 matches. Yet many of those goals would be scrappy, chaotic finishes rather than the flowing team moves and tactical masterpieces fans cherish today. Goals could lose their value, I think, but there would still be more of them, and that's okay. Also, with no offside rule, referees and VAR would avoid endless debates over millimeters and camera angles. But instead, the penalty area would become a minefield of fouls, jostling, and appeals. Let's make big picture. Without offside, football would likely morph into a direct long ball contest, closer to rugby than the nuanced tactical sport we know. It would be faster, scrappier, and perhaps more unpredictable, but also risk losing much of the artistry, strategy, and beauty that make football the world's game. That's all for today. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe us for more analyses, stories, and interesting football scenarios.